After Ken recently got a #1 spot with More Chaos, and a portion of the Opium fans also saying he had a better album than Playboy Carti with I Am Music, it wasn't long before the question of whether Ken can eventually pass up Carti came up. And while I like the idea of Carti passing the torch on to one of his own, I think there's other things that come into play that need to be considered. Nonetheless, if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and comment your own thoughts down below. First, I think we need to step back and look at the whole idea of artists signing other artists. Honestly, we're not going to stay on this topic for too long since it doesn't really apply here, but I think there's numerous known stigmas around why artists signing other artists isn't really a good idea. One, that creates a weird dynamic where the signer is still managing the signee while still handling their own career. And with that, we see numerous other problems come up regarding things like music releasing and contract issues. One that Drake highlighted in his interview was the fact that a lot of artists can't really stand to see other artists getting bigger than them. And because of this, I think that's why we rarely see signees get bigger than the signers. But as mentioned before, it doesn't really seem like any of these are a problem for Ken Carson or the whole Opium, which is a good sign. And based off the interviews from the artists and even from those who operate close to Opium, it seems like they move more like a friend group rather than an actual label, and actually seem to be pretty happy signed to Carti. All the members talk highly of each other and really haven't expressed any regret. There's not really much to say here since the label's been around since 2019, which in music years is plenty of time for a lot of things to go wrong. So I think it's safe to say so far so good as far as Carti handling Ken's career. Now on the other end, and trust me, I didn't want to pull this card this early, but I gotta talk about how high the bar is for Ken to live up to. I feel like it's a no-brainer that Carti is a generational artist and is more than likely going to be the influence, well, he already is the influence for the current and future generations of rap and underground listeners. And I feel like this is mainly because of Whole Lotta Red. With this album, Carti single-handedly shifted the state of the underground music and became the blueprint for what's hot in this scene, the underground and the entire rap scene. We've seen this sound of this album inspire many underground artists and even inspire established artists. I'm not gonna sit here and glaze for too long, but to summarize, this album became a classic and cemented Carti's influence. And I don't want to downplay Ken Carson, but I think it's safe to say that he's kind of like a result of this album, and it's kind of building on something that Carti already helped to establish with that whole rage sound. Now granted, something that I and many others noticed on his newest project was the fact that Ken came across a lot more confident and has shown exponential growth from A Great Chaos, which is a great sign since it's so easy to become stagnant with this sound. But I think in order for Ken to become a force that can even stand beside Carti's legacy, let alone surpass him, he needs to continue carving out his own lane and building his own sound that'll inspire the next generation of underground listeners. I feel like he's kind of at this spot where his sound is established enough to where you can hear it when someone is inspired by Ken. One that instantly comes to my mind is Osama Son, but you can definitely still hear that Carti influence in his music. Now obviously we're not having this conversation for no reason, and while I don't see Ken being on the same level or passing up Carti anytime soon, I do think he has the most potential to live up to Carti's name. Even if he doesn't end up living up to Carti's legacy, I think what he's done to the underground scene and the influence he has now still is very impressive considering just how many artists come and go in this community. So to answer the question, I think it could happen, but I think it's going to take a little bit more work and individuality to do it. Nonetheless, if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and let me know your own thoughts down below. My name's Sam, and see you next time.